Welcome back to another video, everyone. So bam, right into it. This is 245, the 100-pound plates on each side for the top set of 3. Look kind of but those plates are way different to lift than comp plates or just normal pound plates. So like 7.5. It wasn't too hard. My elbow wasn't bothering me like in the warm-ups. And then the working sets were 230 for a 5x4. I'm just showing the first and last sets, and honestly, these were so easy. Like, man, my bench is my best lift, and like, it's not even something that I'm not being cocky about it. It's just my bench always sucked. Like, it's always sucked. My arc looks better than it ever has been. My leg drive's better than it ever has been. You know, the elbow pain, discomfort, nagginess always comes back, but it was feeling good today. And I knew all weekend it was going to feel good because it wasn't bothering me over the weekend. So that was good. And squats didn't bother me either. And this is the horrible top set. 400 pounds for 3. And man, they were just so high. Like, I really thought I was going low. Like, this hurt my knees. Now I look about it, it's not, now I think about it and I'm looking at it, it's not too. I mean, to me, it's 3 red lights. To me, it wasn't too high, but it just felt super heavy, and the warm-ups felt heavy. And my knees and hips were just uncomfortable, and they were really hurting me. So, I mean, considering that, I mean, at least I got it. It was not good. It was not pretty in any way, shape, or form. I don't give myself credit at all. So, working sets last week was 330 for a 5x4, which I wanted a 5x5, but the sun bothered me. So, this is 340 for a 5x4. And I got lower and lower every set. I just show the first and last, but, you know, I love how the working sets have been going compared to the top sets. I guess the top sets, like, you know, I'm just really not used to heavy weight like that. I know it's too soon to be doing it. I'm kind of stupid for going this heavy this soon and, you know, repping it like for 5 and 3 and 1, not so much. That'll be next week. Thank God. I'm going to pretty much go pretty easy next week. That's my single week. So, you know, what I have in mind for squats is 420 top single. Bench will probably be, 245 is easy. We'll probably do 250. And then deadlift, we'll see because I haven't deadlifted yet, but I'm thinking something like 465. It won't be anything crazy. So I wanted to do these, but like not crazy weight, but you know, I wanted to do 3 cycles of these, but it might be 2 now because I want to calm down. And the high bar last week bothered me. So this was 255 for a 3x5, and it wasn't bothering me. I was able to hit depth good on like high bar, which is even harder than hitting, you know, low bar depth. And I was like, the camera angle, it's always going to be on the side, but it's really focusing on my hip crease. I know with the shirt and shorts and, you know, the plate is in the way, it's kind of hard to see, but, you know, I just really want to make sure now, before July 15th Nationals, that I'm hitting depth. You know, I don't want to just worry about it at the very end. I want to be hitting it now, and I'm overthinking it, which is, to me, that's good. At least I'm worried about it, and I'm concerned, and I care about it. I'm going to ditch the knee sleeves, the gangsters, because they're 9mm. I think that makes it harder to hit depth, and I feel too comfortable because they feel like knee wraps. So that makes it harder, in my opinion. I think you just might as well just do what you're going to do in comp. That's more for off-season, and I'm treating this more like off-season right now because, you know, it's more endurance training. But I think I'm actually going to make the switch to my strong sleeves, the blue ones. So I'm actually pretty excited for that. We'll start next week, though. So that concludes a little quick workout. It wasn't quick at all. In conclusion, my high bar was a shocker. I didn't post anything about high bar last week, but I don't know what it was. Maybe I'm barely getting used to the squat bar like I've been saying, but I did 251 because I used that 153-pound plate, and that was heavy. I was going to do sets of 5, a 3x5, like I did today, and I don't know what it was. It was so heavy, I had to stop, and it was hurting like my right groin. It was like popping my hip, like between my hip and groin. It was weird. On the inners, like right here and right here. So it's like literally hip and groin. One was like the muscle, one was like the bone of my hip. And today I did it with these 255 3x5. It's just one plate. The bar's 55 pounds, so 100-pound plate. That's 200 with the bar, 255. And it was easy. It was really easy to hit depth too. And like, I know, like, it was like, I had my warm-ups were horrible today. Like, I didn't show them, but I recorded them for my own use. And it was, depth sucked in my right knee. I don't know why it's been hurting me, even with the gangster. So, like, I don't think the gangster sleeves, the Mark Bell ones, it is my fault a little bit. Because the right one in the middle has a crease. Like, the padding's coming apart, and it makes sense. Because I left it in my trunk literally, I don't know how long, for like 6 months. For sure. At least, maybe. So, the sun ruined it. Like, the color's still probably fine. Maybe they're a little faded, but, like, you know, the padding, the cotton, whatever's inside the padding, it got separated from the sun. Like, eventually, the cold weather and the hot weather. So, that was my fault. And then I left them in my room after that. So I neglected them in the car. If it was in my room, it wouldn't be a big deal. So they're a little separated, so I think my knee does a little extra work. But it's not that. It's pretty protected. But honestly, the knee sleeves, the 9mm gangsters, like they're good for knee protection with knee discomfort, like I have. But I think I was talking to a friend of mine, and yeah, like my friend was telling me that less is more with squats with knee sleeves, because the thinner the sleeves, usually you're more flexible. You're able to go lower in depth, and it kind of babies you. And it's honestly not that much of a difference. You feel like you're hitting depth, but you're really not. Kind of like knee sleeves, and it's just like the comfort, but it's not much of a difference. So I might just switch back. But my top set of 3 for 400, that was just horrible. Like it felt heavy. I don't know what it was, and I really thought I was hitting depth, but I wasn't. And then after, like, I just knew I was hitting depth, because, like, I went low, and, like, I could feel it in my, like, you could feel, like, in your hips, like, your coccyx in the back, and, like, your hips and everything feels, like, low. Like, it had felt like that, but you really feel, like, like, it feels like it's gonna, like, touch the back of your calves. So I was really hitting depth as the sets went on my 5x4, and it was easy, 340. Last week, I know the 385 for 5, and the 330 for a 5x4, which I wanted 5x5. I know that was because of the sun, and I was dead because of it. And my hair wasn't dead because of the sun, but they just started out. It was a horrible start. Bench was amazing. Honestly, bench is just like, I go by the week, and it's just so easy. I just went up 10 pounds, 5 reps less. I did 5x5 last week, 220. Super easy, easier than this, and then 235 by 4. And like what I like to do, it's not recommended, and like maybe I'm stupid for doing it, but I do it to really gauge my RPE. My last rep, I always pause longer than the rest, unless it's too heavy. But I pause longer than the rest to really see how hard it was, to gauge the entire set and all the reps and sets in general. So I did that on pretty much all of them, but like I did a 5-second pause plus more on my last one, but like you can't tell in real time, and when you're under, that just seems longer. But I literally did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I went up. So like I just, like, it doesn't have to be 5. That means it's too light, but it's just a good gauge. Like if you're just kind of like comp pauses, like real quick pause, not like touch and go, but touch and go pause, that's what I call it. Maybe go a little bit longer, like a long 2 count. That's just how I gauge it. The last rep though, because you're already tired. If it's that easy, you could do like 5 seconds like me, but don't 5 seconds. That's obviously, most people go RP only. That just means it's too light. So it's probably 7 the bench, and the top set. Those 100-pound plates feel so much different. So it was probably, I would say it was an 8, probably 9 according to the RP scale. I mean, it's probably 9, because that means you could have maybe done one more, and I could have maybe done one more. So technically 9. We'll just go 8, 8.5. But you could call it a 9 if you want. Squats, it wasn't hard. I just didn't hit depth, and it felt heavy. But I know I could have, and it would have been like a 10 if I really, really hit depth. And it just would have been really painful. It's not so much about RPE. It would have been painful on my knees and hips. I don't know why they weren't warmed up. And I always warm up before. I did a lot. I did everything I normally do. Maybe my jumps are too big now, because I like 20 to 25 pound jumps. Maybe I just need to really warm up like I used to, but it takes really long. So when I was squatting, I noticed, like, this is not something you should do every day because it's so time consuming, but I did it today. And I was talking to myself all weekend, because I didn't, I took 2 days off. Like I should, like everyone should. So like the weekend was off, and I was thinking, like, if squats had been feeling like a problem, which they were, like squats have been feeling a problem for anyone with depth and just discomfort, like hip, knees, just painful, you should watch your warm-up sets. And that's what I did. It didn't help me too much today, but it did eventually, because my working sets were better and better and better. My top set wasn't, but like if you feel like you're not going low enough, if you feel your right hip is hurting or your left hip is hurting, or both, or one knee or both knees, or something just feels off, look at your warm-up. So you can correct it before the working sets, and it'll go good. Usually your working sets are good after the top single or the top whatever, but like make sure every rep is perfect as can be, and as low as you can possibly be on anything, deadlift, bench, a squat. Like to me, it's mainly squat. Like honestly, my worst lift is squat right now, but that's something every powerlifter should do once in a while. It takes a long time, I know, but when the warm-ups get heavier, really look at your form, really look at everything, like pain, how it felt, how hard it was, RPE, pain RPE, because like there is a pain RPE, like how much it hurt on a scale of 1 to 10, how fast it was, how slow it was, how easy it should have been, all that. That's something to consider once in a great while, especially when you're getting closer to meet day. I'm 4 months out, so it's no big deal. Like high bar after low bar today, and my second day pause squats, front squats after that. It's like I said, I'm doing this for volume, and the high bar and low bar are all front squats are all easy, so it's not a big deal. Eventually, I'm gonna take one out and just have one day, like a high bar day only, and not combine it with low bar. No pause squats, no comp squats, top single, whatever, and then the pause day, and then a low bar day, high bar day, or eventually switch it out for a front squat day. 3 squat days is kind of a lot, but the way I'm doing it is pretty hard too. It's pretty much like I'm doing 4 squat days because I have 4 variations in there. Comp squat, it's almost 5. Like a top set, comp squat, the working sets, high bar, pause squats, and then front squats. But you could count it as just 4 variations. So, that's not ideal, but I'm just doing it for endurance, and I don't want to go too crazy with just comp squats and so heavy. So it's pretty light, so it's no big deal with the squat variations. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.